Hey everybody, so I got this English dryer. This is the one that we changed the heater in not too long ago. But before I end up selling this thing, I just want to clean out the inside. So I'm going to show you guys how to take this thing apart and clean out the inside, which should be done probably once a year because you don't want lint building up inside your dryer. So I'll show you how to do that. One of the main things I have to watch is the lint filter comes in from the top, and there's two screws right here that have to be removed before this top will come up. There's a couple little clips here. You just push these in with your putty knife and this top will come up. I gotta take those two screws out, but we'll get those out and then we'll flip it up. Okay, so we got those two screws out of here. So this, you just lift up, and I know I shouldn't have to tell you guys, but make sure it's unplugged if you're gonna be going inside of a machine like this. You don't wanna get electrocuted. So yeah, there's a lot of fluff built up everywhere. So we're gonna get this drum out of here, take out this front panel, and we'll be able to clean out inside here a lot better. So I'll just tilt this back a little bit. Because I want that to be able to rest somewhere without falling over. So the bolts that are in here are 5/16. So just gonna find my 5/16. After that, that front panel will come forward a little bit, but there's some wiring that we're gonna have to undo before it gets too far away. All right, so that one screw came out of just there. The other screw is right there. Also, I'm trying a new filming setup, so let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the sound and just the video in general, I guess. So this front part will come off, but we're gonna have to undo this wiring connection first. I usually just stick a pick in here and release these little locks on here. So I will grab my pick and do that. So I've undid that wiring clip on this side, and we'll pull this forward. We want to hold the drum a little bit because the drum actually is supported by this front panel. So let that come just a hair forward. Now on this style, once you get it to come forward a little bit, you have to lift up because there's little clips that it sits into. So we'll just lift up on that side, on that side, hold that drum from falling out, and we'll get the panel out of the way. So what we're gonna want to look at, I guess I should have shown you guys that a little bit. So this is the front felt right here. It goes all the way around. It's two pieces. There's a lower and an upper. If these start to wear out, you'll start to hear metal on metal, and then you know you're going to need to replace one of these. They're very easy to change out. You just pull off this one and glue on another one. But yeah, look out for that when you take this off, just to see what yours looks like. Then we're gonna have to undo that belt. Maybe I'll try to take you guys a little lower and see if we can get in there. Okay, so not sure how good you can see that, but the belt comes down off the side of the drum, wraps around this idler in this direction, comes off the idler, wraps around the motor, and then runs through this little cutout in the idler here, and goes around to the other side of the drum. So to get this off, we have to loosen up the tension that's on this idler, and then we can pop that belt off. So we'll do that. When you're doing this, you're gonna want to hold that, hold the drum, because the drum's really gonna want to fall on you, because that was all that was holding that up. So once we get that out, the drum can just come. Okay, so we've got that drum out. What you're going to want to look at is this. It's another felt, but it's on the back of the drum. You just want to make sure it's not ripped or completely worn out. Also the belt. So you can actually see the ribs, whether they're cracked or falling apart or ripped. So yeah, that's definitely something you want to check out. Then this one actually isn't too dirty, but we'll clean out a little bit of the lint that's in here, lint that's in that motor. Check these rollers to see if they're moving great. So yeah, just clean that dust out of there and we can put everything back together. All right, got it all cleaned out there. So this idler, I should actually get some of the belt rubber off there. All right, so the idler is going to sit in these two little grooves here. So this piece will sit in one groove and these little forks will sit in that other groove. A lot of the time, it's not really going to stay there. So these ones are a little tough. You throw the drum in and hook that belt on. You kind of have to hold this so it's in place. Run your belt through here, hook it around the motor, and just make sure your belt is running like that. But yeah, so I'll get that in place and see you guys in a sec here. Okay, so we got that drum back in there. I'm going to grab this front panel, and the place where it sits on those forks is right in this cutout hole, and it sits right in here. It can be tricky. So hold the drum up, and I usually put that felt inside the drum like that, and then you can set one side on. Set the other side on there, and do up your wiring. In case that panel falls or something, it's not going to go anywhere. I like to turn that drum a little bit, just so it seems to sit back in place properly when you move it a little bit like that. Now, take those two 5/16 screws and don't drop them down there, because then you're gonna have to take everything apart again. Put these guys in, and then we're just about done. We'll have to put those other two screws in for the top here. Oops, that comes through there for that lint filter. And we'll probably give this top a little wipe here, because that's a little gross, but actually I'll just do that now. So when you go to test the dryer to make sure everything's all good, and on this one I'm definitely gonna have to test. I also replaced the heater, like I said before, so I've tested it for the heater. I just want to test it and make sure it cycles all right and everything. So this top can come back down, just lines up with these little clips, and then you just push it down. Sometimes you'll have to use a pick or something to get into one of these holes to get this filter assembly to sit in the right spot. Looks like this one I'll have to do that too. So just probably pick in one of these holes, move it over, and then put one of the other screws in. Don't let your pick fall down there, or else you're going to have to take apart the back. So I put these two in, and that's the whole part. Now that back piece, you can see my other video where I actually changed the heater. I cleaned out all the back parts behind there where all the thermostats and heater assembly are. But throw this back in, and then we can test it. Okay, so when testing a dryer, I always put it on time dry, because then you'll get full heat. Then you just hit your start button. Just know that moving all that dust around, it might stink like burning for a little bit, 5-10 minutes of it running. But you can just burn that off by letting it run. But just know that that is going to be a thing. Check in the back. Just put your hand where the vent comes out, and you can feel the heat and everything come out. And I can start to smell that actually burning smell right now. So there's a couple more pieces I need to clean up on this, but other than that, that's how you clean out one of these Inglis dryers.